biggest separator in life is not that someone's lucky. It's not the fact that they were born into a specific family. It's not the fact that they, have some special talent or anything like that. The biggest separator in life is the fact of the effort that you put in on a daily basis. Raw ability means nothing without execution. Welcome to the Daily Effort Podcast. My name is Sam, and the Daily Effort Podcast is where we're going to be covering everything related to leadership, personal development, so I can give you the things that you need in your life to make sure you level up and achieve that success that you want in life, because I'm a firm believer that anything that you want in life, you can actually achieve success if you're willing to work long enough and hard enough for it. And everything we cover will be applicable to faith, family, fitness, mindset, your career. So it'll be able to apply to all of that. Now, as far as what we're going to be covering today, we will be diving in and talking about, number one, what does it actually take to achieve the success that you actually want in life? So I'm going to touch on a myth behind success, or what we've grown up thinking about what it takes to achieve success. And I'm going to talk about why that's actually a dangerous thought to have, and I'll be giving some real world examples to it as well. And then I'm also going to make sure I give you what's a way that you can track your just effort on a daily basis? What's a way that you can increase it? Because if you increase it, then you can actually achieve the things that you want. And then also, I'll have a little challenge for y'all at the end of today's episode. Just stick around, make sure that you get to the end and get that challenge, and just tag me in it so that I know what you're doing, so I can see the effort that you're putting in and see you continue to level up and achieve what you actually want in life. And now, as far as today's episode, like if you do get value from it, what I ask is that you just share it with a friend, tell someone about it, put us on social media, tag us, because that's the only way that, I'm going to continue to be able to grow the podcast, and I want to continue to grow it as big as I can. And then when it comes to just what our schedule is, so we are on YouTube and Spotify as well. Primarily, I'll record this video, and then I'm going to just upload the audio to Spotify. So if you prefer to watch and you're on Spotify, you can always hop over to YouTube and catch the video. I'll always release one episode every single week, Mondays at 5 a.m., so you can always expect that. So that's just a little bit of just prefacing everything before we dive in. Really getting started, though, is I want to talk about what does it actually take to achieve the success that you want in life. And for the longest time, I can think back to myself as far as what I used to think that it took. And you might have said the same thing. Have you ever looked at someone that achieved something and you're like, oh, well, they're just lucky. They knew someone. That's why they got there. Or maybe if it's in sports, you say it's just their genetics. They're just talented. That's just them. They were meant to be successful. Well, you ever think that some people just put in a lot of time and that's why they are where they are? And truthfully, like, have you ever stopped to ask one of those people who you've thought that about? Have you asked them, hey, how much time have you put in this to be good at this? How much time? Because I can tell you, this first real world example, when I was in high school and I was looking at going to play football in college, I actually stopped one of the guys. He was very strong. He was very fast. And I'm like, dude, it's like man, what's the secret? What have you done? Like, is it like, I just feel like this is how you are. And he was like, bro, what are you saying? He's like, I've been working at this since I was 8 years old, 7 years old. And he was 18 at the time. And that hit me, and it just smacked me upside the face, because then I was like, oh, got it. Like, I started lifting when I was around 15, 16. So he had so many more years on me. That's why he was so good. Now, maybe did he have some just raw ability? Yeah, absolutely. But what we have to remember, raw ability without execution means nothing. It means nothing. And that's what's special about people that have achieved success in life. It's the fact that they have put in a whole lot of time, and that's why they are where they are. And again, we can never just automatically be like, well, they just have something special. I can't do that. That's a very dangerous thought. And we've just been brought up with thinking these things, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing by any means that we've thought these things. Because think about this: if you were in high school, think about back to like the valedictorian, who gave a speech and everything. Did you think, oh well, they're just naturally smart? That's just them. That's just how they are. They didn't really have to work too hard for that. You'll automatically discredit what they're doing, and that's the myth that we've had about success for so long. Is the fact that we just think it's people are lucky, or they have a special talent, or it's because of the family they were born in, or all these different things, when it's not true. The biggest separator in life is not that someone's lucky. It's not the fact that they were born into a specific family. It's not the fact that they, have some special talent or anything like that. The biggest separator in life is the fact of the effort that you put in on a daily basis. Because remember, raw ability means nothing without execution. I'm going to continue to say that piece. So why this is such a dangerous thought to be thinking is, especially growing up, is the fact that, well, if you think this, then you automatically take yourself out of the game. You automatically just in your mind think that there has to be something special. There's a secret sauce that'll get you to where you truly want to go. And there's not. There's really not. And again, if you think that, well, then that means you're not going to continue to work to actually get better. And if you don't work to actually get better, that means you don't get better and you don't achieve the success that you actually want in life. And then you continue to have this thought that since you're not achieving success, you're just continuing to think that, well, it's just all these people, they just have something special. It is what it is. It's like, success just isn't meant for me. Whatever success is for you. Maybe you've done this on a fitness journey. Another real world example. Maybe, you're wanting to lose some weight or build some muscle, and you see someone lifting heavy weight, and you're like, oh man, that's just them. They take something. That's why they're so strong. Or, oh, that person, they've never struggled with their weight. I'm just big bone. It's my genetics. Automatically, you are taking yourself out of the game and decreasing the likelihood that you even have a shot of being able to go and achieve the success that you actually want. This is why, growing up, this thought that we've had, why I wanted to first just debunk this limiting belief, this myth that there's something special about these people that achieve success, because we see them, whether it's Michael Jordan or, Kobe Bryant. Like with Michael Jordan, we're just like, oh, well, he's just special and everything like that. But I encourage you, have you ever taken a second to watch The Last Dance? You will see the work that he put in to get to where he's at. And he actually was not good at basketball at the start. He was actually awful. And then he worked and became great. But most of us aren't willing to do that. We're not willing to pay the price to actually get to where we want to go. And again, if you have that thought that it's just something special, you'll never take full ownership to look at how you can improve. So therefore, you don't improve, and then you don't actually get to the level of success that you want, or reach the goal that you want. And again, this is why I'm doing the podcast, because I firmly believe that, again, if we all just have the mindset that we can take ownership of our life and achieve the things that we want, we can make the world a better place. And I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that the dream that you see in your mind, the vision that you see for your life, the thing that you want to go and work towards, you can achieve it as long as you're willing to work long enough and hard enough for it. So that's the first part of all of this that I want to just touch on, is the fact that we can achieve the things that we actually want in life, but we got to work for it. Now, how do we increase? How do we track effort? Well, it's pretty straightforward for the most part. Here's the thing that we have to understand, though. Most of us think that we're doing a good job. Most of us think that we're giving 100%, we're giving full effort, we can't give any more, we can't get better, and that's just not true. It's just not true. Most of the time, we're giving like 50%, 60%, 70%, somewhere around in there. It's just not true. It's not true that we're giving full effort. And that's as sooner we accept that we can improve, that's the day that we actually start to improve. And it sounds kind of silly, but it's so true. So the thing we have to try to figure out now is, how do you know if you're putting in the right effort? How do you know? Well, it's simple. If you're putting in the correct effort, you're going to drive the result that you want. You will see the result. Let's take this to fitness. Well, if you're putting in the right effort, you're working out, you're tracking your food, you're drinking your water, well, then you're going to lose the weight that you want, or you're going to start to build the muscle that you want over time, as long as you stay consistent with it. Or maybe it's a relationship. Okay, well, if you are taking the time to, go on dates with your significant other, spend time with them, get to know them better, ask them questions, well, then that relationship will get better. And that's important to understand, is the result will tell you, is your effort right or not? And if you're not seeing the result, well, then you have to change your input. You have to figure out, what do you need to do to get to where you want to go? And nothing more, nothing less. You can't look at things as good or bad. You can only look at it from a standpoint of, okay, how can I take this and improve it and move in the right direction? So that's the first thing with all of this, is before I even dive into how do you increase effort and how do you track it, is you have to understand that the result will tell you, the outcome will tell you, are you doing the right things or are you not doing the right things? Now, when it comes to effort, I want to break this down, because if we're going to increase effort and track it, we have to understand, in my opinion, and again, my personal opinion, there's two parts to effort. You have what you do, and then there's how you do it. So, for example, the first part of effort, what you do. Well, this is going to work. Like, again, for your job. Well, what you have to do, you have to go to work. You have to go to work. Then how you do it is going to be a separating factor. Like, how intentional are you with the projects that you're on? How intentional are you planning for the meeting? Like, that's going to be the big separator there. Then maybe it is fitness. What do you have to do? You have to work out weekly, like maybe 4 or 5. Some people it's 6-7 days a week. But let's say it's 5 days a week. Okay, that's a what? You have to work out at least 5 days a week. And then the how is, how much time? How are you pushing yourself inside the gym with the exercises? Are you just going through the motions, or are you actually doing it? And then maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's with your family. Okay, well, what do you have to do? Spend time with your family. Now, how are you doing it though? Do you qualify time as maybe just sitting there watching TV? Again, sometimes that is, but that shouldn't be all that you do, is just toss something on and not talk back and forth and deepen a relationship. Or maybe, I'm a Christian, so maybe it's your faith with the Lord. Okay, what do you have to do? Read your Bible, go to church. It's like, pray. Now, again, those things don't make you a Christian. That's a different conversation for a different time. However, it's like with those things, okay, that's what you have to do. Now, how are you doing it? Are you reading your Bible and reflecting and diving in to truly try to understand it, or are you just reading it to say that you've done it? That's how you're doing it. Remember, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And again, that quote might sound counterproductive to what I've been saying as far as there's two parts to effort. But again, you have to start the what part, what you are doing, what you have to do, and then you have to start to look at how are you doing it if you want to actually improve it. So again, this is the difference between just putting in the bare minimum and actually intentionally doing something. And with all of this, I just want y'all to remember, just like success, we naturally assume that when it comes to people who are great at staying disciplined or putting in great effort on a daily basis, we just assume there's something special about them. Like, oh, well, that's just how they are. No, that's not true. That's not true. Effort is a skill. It's not a trait. And effort, it's like a muscle. You have to work it and continuously get better at it if you're going to put in more effort on a daily basis to achieve the level of success that you actually want. So those two parts of effort we got to understand. Now, how do we track it? In my opinion, there's 3 things as far as how we start to track effort on a daily basis, or maybe weekly basis, depending on how you do it. Number one, you got to decide on the standard. This is where it comes down to what I was saying before, what you are doing. That's, again, the what. What are you going to do? Are you going to work out 4 days a week, 5 days a week? Decide that standard. Again, that's your baseline. That's what you're aiming for. You're creating the baseline when you do that. So, number one, decide the standard. Number two, track it. And what I mean by that is maybe you decide the standard is 5 workouts this week, and it's going to be 45 minutes, and you're going to work out your chest one day, back, arms, legs, and abs. Those are your workouts. Okay, well, with that, you got to track it. Just track everything. Okay, did you do the 5 days? Did you meet the baseline? Did you meet the standard? Because again, you got to get up to the baseline. You got to get up to the standard if you're going to start to improve the standard. You can't improve the standard if you're not there. So with that, you got to decide the standard you're going to follow. What? Track it. Then third and final, improve it. This is the how. No different than what I was saying. Okay, maybe you decide that you're going to do those 5 workouts and you have what you're gonna do. Okay, well, on chest day, how are you doing bench press? If you're supposed to do 8 reps, well, do you do the 8 reps, but really with the weight that you have, you could have done 10 or 12 or 15 reps. Okay, well then that's where you need to improve. You need to push yourself a little more. You're there, you're doing the what. Now, how are you doing it? And again, if you start to really pay attention to that, you can start to improve a whole lot. Maybe in your career, maybe you're in sales. Okay, well, you have what you have to do, the calls on a daily basis. Well, how are you doing them? Have you listened back to see how are you executing on it? Because that's going to be the separating factor. If you're doing the work amount, the what, that you decided the standard, let's say 15 calls a day. Okay, cool. You got them scheduled. You're doing it. Okay, now how are you doing it? Improve it. Get better at it. So number one, decide the standard. Number two, track it. Number three, improve it. And then the last thought that I'll give y'all with this is the fact of don't quit. You adjust things. You don't quit. That's so important to actually remember. And again, I would say that's a mindset a lot of people have is you're not going to be good at something when you start it, but you have to continuously just get a little better. Just with fitness, you're not going to just crush it and lose all the weight right out of the gate. You have to continue to work over an extended period of time to actually reach the weight loss or the muscle that you want to build over the course of time. So I want to say that. So again, just going back over all of this, number one, we've talked about really what's the myth we've had about success and why that is a dangerous thought. I've talked about some real world examples with that. Number two, talked about, well, how do you track effort? How do you increase it? Okay, well, we talked a little bit about that. Now, third and final challenge for y'all. Find something this week, just one thing you want to improve that's going to make your life better. Pick one thing and then actually track it this week and decide on the standard that you're going to work towards. So let me give a couple examples. Fitness. Maybe you're wanting to get in shape. Okay, well, that's one area you can improve in your life. That's one area you want to improve. How many workouts are you going to do? Decide that standard. Then track it, then improve it. Okay, maybe it's with your family. Okay, well, are you going to spend a certain amount of time with your family? Or maybe it's your career. Are you going to spend a certain amount of time planning for that meeting? What does that look like? Maybe it's your faith. Okay, with your relationship with the Lord. Okay, well, are you going to read your Bible a certain amount of times this week? And again, I'm not saying just do it to do it. Again, the purpose behind it is decide the standard, track it, improve it. How do you do it? Decide the what, the standard. Then how do you do it? How are you going to improve on it? So that's what I want y'all to do is find that one thing, decide the standard, track it for this week, and start to improve it. Improve it 10% or 5%, whatever it is, or however you decide to improve it. Just get a little better. Raise the bar, raise the bar, raise the bar, raise the bar. And then reflect on the change reflect back at the end of the week. Okay, well, how well did it go? It's like, did you meet the standard that you wanted? Okay, if you didn't, remember, don't quit, just adjust. Okay, maybe you said you're going to do 5 workouts and you only did 3. Okay, cool. Now try to do 4. It's like maybe you said you were going to spend X amount of time planning for the meeting, so it was a great meeting, but you didn't spend that amount of time. You didn't do it at all. Okay, well, that means reset, readjust, refocus, go back out and attack. So, and as y'all do this, I want y'all to tag me on social media. You can find me on Instagram. It's just at Samuel Funderburk. It's really pretty straightforward. I mean, SUMUELL, 2 L's, and then Funderburk, FUNDERBURK. So just find me there and tag me. I would love to see it, or drop it in the comments here on YouTube. Again, I would really appreciate that. And I want to see that because, again, why I do all of this is because for so long in our minds, we've thought success is only for some people when it's really not. And we can achieve anything that we want, whether it's a great relationship with the Lord, maybe it's a certain level in our career, or achieving some type of, better relationship with our family, whatever it is. It's like we can actually achieve it if we just continue to work long enough and hard enough for it. So I want to see that. I want to see the improvement. That's why I do this. That's why I get fired up about all of this. So my closing thoughts for y'all, and I know this is, I'm not sure how long I've been going, and I feel like I've been flying through this, but closing thoughts. Remember, the biggest separator in life isn't the fact that someone's lucky or talented or they have something special. The biggest separator in our life is the effort that you put in on a daily basis, the intentional effort that you put in on a daily basis that's going to get you to where you want to go. And number 2, the only reason that you don't achieve the things that you want in life is because you just choose not to actually work towards them. Going back to the myth, remember, we used to think that it's just something special that makes people successful, and it's not. It's not. It's just that they work longer for it. Another example I'll give y'all is, again, a buddy of mine in fitness. Like, he's a lot stronger than I am, and I'm like, holy crap, it's like, you're so much stronger than I am. And he started when he was 13 years old, and I started when I was 15, 16. So it's just a time thing, time and effort thing. Are you willing to commit daily to do what you need to do to get to where you want to go in life? And if you do that, you can achieve anything that you want. Then, last thing, remember, do that challenge. Find that one area that you want to improve. Tag me in it. You can drop it inside the comments here on YouTube, or if you're on Spotify, you can drop it inside the comments there, or tag me on social media. I would love to see it, love to hear about it, love how you're leveling up your life, and if I can help in any way, please let me know. But other than that, go out, go put in intentional daily effort so you can achieve the level of success in life that you want, because you absolutely can if you're willing to work long enough and hard enough for it. So other than that, have a great day, have an awesome week, and God bless.